my dear students. I hope that all of you are fine. So here I am back again with one most important and one unique video. I know that all of you can understand that what is going to be the topic of today's video by looking at this picture. Yes, the topic of today's video, as you can see, how to speak fluent English without hesitation. I know that students are very much afraid of speaking English sometimes. So here I am to make them learn spoken English. I will help you how to speak English fluently. Okay. So, in order to speak English fluently, first of all, you need to know some basic things about this language so that you can learn spoken English very easily. And students, you need not to be afraid of speaking English. English is the language of international communication, the media and the internet. So learning English is important for socializing, entertainment as well as work. And as I have said that you need not to be afraid of speaking English or about this language. There is nothing to be afraid of. So I would like to tell you that English is the easiest language in the world to learn. It is the most widely spoken language in the world. If you can speak English fluently, you can communicate with people all across the world. Some more things, basic things that you need to know. That is, English is the West Germanic language that was first spoken in early medieval England and eventually became a global lingua franca. So, your teacher will help you, and here in this video, I will help you how to speak English fluently. So, as you have heard about this particular phrase, lingua franca, I would like to tell you some things about this phrase, lingua franca. What is a lingua franca then? A common language used by people of diverse backgrounds to communicate with each other. It is also known as a trade language, breeze language, and vehicular language. The use of lingua franca may be almost as old as language itself. Certainly, they have existed since antiquity. So, I hope that now you can understand what is a lingua franca. Lingua franca is the common language that is used by people of diverse or different backgrounds to communicate with each other. Your teacher will also help you, and here I will also help you to understand what is the lingua franca. Lingua franca is also known as the trade language. Trade language means the language that we can use in trade and also to communicate with people of diverse or different background. So, today I shall discuss some tips to speak fluent English. So, do you speak English? If your teacher or your parents or your tutors, whoever it is, if anyone asks you, do you speak English? So, your answer should be yes, I do. And that's why today I shall give you some tips or some rules or some ways, as you can see, to speak fluent English. In order to speak English fluently, you have to follow the ways or the rules or the tips that now I am going to share with all of you. I know that you are becoming very much eager to know about that particular tips or ways, as it's the dream of everyone to speak fluent English, to communicate with people of different backgrounds. So, number one rule, or the tip number one: be realistic about your English learning goals. Yes, do not expect your English to be as good as that of a native speaker. Soon after taking up the language, it takes time. Yes. First of all, in the beginning stage, you need to understand the language very minutely. So you need to be realistic that your English or your speaking of English, that particular language, will be definitely excellent, but it will take time. Practice speaking as well, not just reading and listening. So if you only read newspaper, if you only listen different English news or music, it is not sufficient. While reading and listening can help you learn a lot about the language, the only way to speak better English is by speaking it yourself. So you need to concentrate on reading, listening, writing and speaking also. Now 3. Practice speaking English whenever you get a chance. Yes. Do not pass up a chance to speak English whenever any chance or anything arises. So whenever you find that you are getting one chance to speak English, or whenever you find that you are getting your friends who can speak in English with you, or any opportunity that you are getting, you need not to waste that chance. You should utilize that chance to speak English. Now, number 4. Get native English speaking friends and practice speaking with them. Yes, if you want to speak English like a native, you should have friends who speak it like you would like to. Yes, if you have your native English speaking friends, you should practice speaking with them. You should spend a lot of time with your English speaking friends so that you can make your speaking the best. Okay, do not be afraid of making mistakes. Okay, in the beginning or in the initial stage, it's not mandatory that you should be perfect. In the beginning stage or in the initial stage, you may make mistakes, but don't be afraid of that. Mistakes are part of learning. They help you know where you need to make improvements to become a better English speaker. Yes, mistakes are only part of learning. They will help you to make improvements to make a better English speaker. 6. Use simple sentences at first, then progress to more complex sentences. You have to start from somewhere. Do not struggle to master the complex language part until you have mastered the basics. So you need to, first of all, you need to use simple sentences, and then you should go to the complex part of that particular language. Only then you can master that language. 7. Get a reliable English learning course. Here I can tell you that students, now you are little children, so you need to speak in English with your teacher, with your mother, with your father, with your grandmother, with your relatives. So having the right English speaking course can accelerate the rate at which you learn to speak this language fluently. So you should try to speak in English with your family members to speak this language fluently. Make an effort to improve your pronunciation. Yes, pronunciation is very much important. The way you pronounce certain words could be the reason your English speaking skills seem a little off. So practice saying some problems or some problematic words properly. Okay, so you need to concentrate upon your pronunciation also. So that's why you need a dictionary. You need to listen words using headphones so that you can improve it. Try saying something extra. Do not give one word replies like yes and no. Try to say something more to build your skills and confidence. In order to increase your confidence, in order to become bold, you need to try saying something extra so that you can improve yourself while speaking English. Okay, so finally we are going to learn number 10. So learn from your mistakes. Yes, as I have said that in the beginning or in the initial stage you might make mistakes, but you shouldn't afraid of those mistakes. Once you learn, you tend to make a certain mistake, work on getting rid of it, and over time your English will improve considerably. Yes, it will take time, but you will definitely learn from your mistakes. Your mistakes will show you how to and at which scale or how much you need to make yourself comfortable with that particular language. So what have you learned today, students? I know that today you have learned little bit about this topic, how to speak English fluently without hesitation. So at a glance we will learn what have you learned today so that it will help you to gain more interest in this particular topic. In the next video also I shall explain some more tips. So what we have learned: be realistic about your English learning goals, practice speaking as well as not just reading and listening, practice speaking English whenever you get a chance, get native English speaking friends and practice speaking with them. Do not be afraid of making mistakes. Use simple sentences at first, then progress to more complex sentences. Get a reliable English learning course. Make an effort to improve your pronunciation. Try saying something extra and learn from your mistakes. So till then, speak English fluently. Don't be afraid of speaking English. Whenever you get a chance, speak English, and also concentrate on the pronunciation part. You should pronounce the word very carefully, and you should understand the actual pronunciation of any particular or any word. So the most important thing that I can tell you, that don't be afraid of speaking English. So for today, up to this, I hope that all my students are well at home. Please stay at home, stay safe. Thank you very much to all of you.